So for this video, we have a real treat. We have a friend in Locust Grove, Oklahoma, named Rebekah Fish, who has Prairie Mountain soap making. And so she showed us how to make some soap. At the beginning of the video, we kind of are diving right into it, where she's talking about the sugars and ingredients that she puts into it. And it'll be a semi-tutorial. You know, you'll get to see the basic idea of how to make it, not step by step. And so you'll have to do a little bit more research. But towards the end of the video, she talks about her recipe and the ingredients that go into it. Hope you enjoyed this one. Again, Rebekah Fish, Prairie Mountain soap making in Locust Grove, Oklahoma. Hope you enjoy. All right.
Sugar.
Gotcha.
Repeat that again. For sugar, I add teaspoons of like table sugar, and I add 2 teaspoons of salt to this one because I like my hardness number to be up on there. But my sugar could be maple sugar. It could be. Sometimes people only use molasses.
Okay.
So molasses, maple sugar, brown sugar, powdered sugar, wine or beer, and milk.
And milk.
Sometimes
No
people will
lactose.
even add yogurt
Interesting.
to it.
I guess that's why some people use the goat milk too, right?
Yes,
Like, okay.
yes. Goat milk adds sugar, and it also adds like a smoothie gentleness to the soap. You know, the stick blender I use is the stainless steel stick blender. They tend to last longer than the plastic one. And I've always got gloves on. Sometimes I forget, but gloves are a big thing, and so are eye protection. And I should have long sleeves on, but I do have something covering my feet. So
What all are you protecting yourself from there?
I am protecting myself from this sodium hydroxide.
Okay.
Sodium hydroxide is a very caustic solution. It can burn the skin. And so,
And you say you don't know chemistry.
I don't know chemistry, but I have learned chemistry over the last 12 years.
Okay.
So, yes, it burns skin, burns lungs. You can, I mean, it's...
Isn't that what they clean out pipes with, sodium hydroxide?
In storage in my garage. But the big thing you need to know about this is that it really needs to stay covered in something that's well sealed. But you can see it's just a powder.
And this is the lye.
And this is the lye, and this is a food grade lye. This, I'm just tapping at the bottom to get the air out because I don't want any air. Sometimes I switch between mixing with the blender on and then mixing just by hand here. I want these leftover coconut oil pieces to completely dissolve in here. And the heat of this is, it's actually pretty, let me see what the heat temperature is of this. I can show you with my heat gun just how hot this is right now. I've got it on C. So it's 128 right now.
Okay.
Normally this lye mixture can get all the way up to probably, I've had it go about 200 degrees, 212. What I'm
Show
gonna
me
do is-
exactly what it is you're seeing, because
So,
I'm looking and I'm like,
okay.
I don't really see a trace. So
when we go up on it, we're gonna just see if we can see any lines across it. And you have to look at an angle. And I can see lines, but you're gonna see lines that go across the soap. Yep.
Okay, I see it now.
You see
Yeah.
the lines? Okay. I use these molds. I love these molds because these molds come apart on the sides.
Okay.
And so once I get ready to unmold it, I can just take this liner right out of it,
Yep.
and it
Okay.
makes it a whole lot easier. Pour it into here.
So you have it planned out very closely.
Yep, so I have just a tad bit left over, and I use this small one here. This is like a guest soap. I have some bars that I can sell as sample size. If someone wants to try a soap, they can just buy a sample, a smaller bar. And this is the fun part. It makes noise, but I have to get all this air out.
Okay.
And they'll pretty much dissipate. So, and then I have some, when it gets a little bit more thick on top, then I'll go across and you'll see the finished bar. I can send you a picture of it, but I'll go across like this with a spoon and make a design on it, but right now it's still, I use these covers. Covers go over the top of them to keep anything out of them. They will sit, both of these will sit on my little makeshift heating mat, which is just a heating pad that I put on. I usually put it on medium low, and I sit them here. So it will go on there like this way, and what it does here is the next phase of this soap is called the gel phase of the soap. And so if I put them here and leave them to gel, which makes them heat up a little bit in the mold, it actually makes this color of the finished bar more even all the way through.
Okay.
So
Nice.
so that's it. That's the process
That's great. So the gelling phase, that's all this next 12 hours or so?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and it will just sit there, and on this, it'll shut off after 2 hours, and it'll just continue to sit in there with this little lid on it to heat up. And then once it goes through that, then it will be solid enough to where I can unmold it. And then I will use this cutter here to actually cut the soap.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. So this is the cutter.
Is the cutter.
Yep.
It's just basically a guitar string here.
Okay.
And you can see it here. But,
Yep.
I just take the loaf and I move it all the way across, and I cut it in 1 inch increments across. It gets thick like this. I kind of manipulate the top edges here.
And just so you know, this has only been about 10 minutes maybe since, maybe 10 to 15 since you finished stirring it up and all that. So,
And
so
I should
it
still have my gloves
starts to
on,
thicken up pretty quickly.
And that's the cutter that I use. So.
That's great.
Yep. So that's it. And for the cleanup, I leave this for about 24 hours before I clean it up, because I want it to be fully saponified in here, so that I can just scrape out all the excess soap.
Okay.
That way it doesn't ruin my drink. So here's the total oil weight right here, and I use a program online called soapcalc.net.
Okay.
It's online, and I measure it for 100 ounces of oil weight, because this is what both of those molds are going to hold. And then this is the amount of water that I put in the soap. So I put a water ratio of 1.6 to 1. That's the water. Or the lye concentration is 38.462%. My super fat is the free floating oil in the soap that does not get saponified by the lye.
Okay.
So free floating oil, it's not going to be chosen, because it's just going to be the total amount of oils, but it's going to be what's left in the soap before or after it saponifies into a bar of soap.
Right.
So it just adds a tad bit of moisture to the soap, moisturizing to the soap, even though it's a wash-off product.
Gotcha.
Water is 617.60 grams. I always do it in grams. Lye is 386. And then all of these oils down here are the ones that I use. So lard, olive, coconut, and castor, and the amounts there.
Gotcha.
These are the percentages of what are in the bar. So the amount of lard in here is the most at 45%, and then it goes on down. And then the soap bar quality is here. So your recipe here is what it says, and this is your range. And then blends are down here, additives are over here. So I use this basic recipe for a lot of these different soaps that I make. There's only one soap that I use a different recipe for, and that's the salt soap that's sitting over there on the shelf, the pink and white one. So, but this is what I use for most all of them.
Yeah.
So
the company is Vine Vita?
Vine Vita, and it's out of, let's see, where is it out of? It's out of Hollandale Beach, Florida.
Okay.
And then this one comes from Canada, Toronto, Canada, I believe, or Ontario.
New Directions Aromatics. And
Yeah.
so you said they do all their own testing to make sure it's free of adulterants.
Yeah, so they do a GCMS test, because
Yes,
you see how big this is.
Sure,
For
yeah.
a batch of soap.
Yeah, that's a lot of essential oil.
Like, for instance, I can give you another idea here. This is for 2 batches of soap down here.
Okay.
For lavender and my patchouli soap, I need 2.6 ounces of lavender and 1.4 ounces of patchouli.
That's a lot.
That would be 3-4
bottles
of
yes.
each one of those 30 mil
Right.
just to get
Right.
what I needed for two
Absolutely.
things. And one of these bottles, depending on how much I'm using, will last me, you know, maybe 6 months.
Okay.
You know, depending on how many I'm using and what is selling. You know, what people like around here, then I'll have to make more of
What
that.
have
So,
been the most popular here?
before I moved, the most popular in Colorado was the pink salt soap and the lavender.
And that's this
So-
one here?
So this is the pink salt and the lavender. And the lavender is made with Brazilian clay that I order from a lady who's Brazilian, who goes back and forth to Brazil. And her company is out of, I think, Key Largo, Florida. I thought the other day. So
And in Oklahoma, some of the most popular selling ones?
we don't know yet.
Oh, you
because
don't know.
We're just starting. So you guys
Well,
are
there
going to
you-
have to
there you go.
tell me.
Looks like a lot of good product here, so
Yep.
that's excellent. So we'll find out what
We'll
the
find
most
out.
popular is. And
Yep.
and can you just real quick run through these over here, the kinds you have? Because we have the
Okay.
coffee.
So we have an unscented coffee over here. It doesn't have any scent. Then we have one here that has eucalyptus spearmint and patchouli.
Yes.
Then we have the pine tar. Here's some more pine tar. Then we have a lemongrass down here.
Okay.
And then this is a coconut or charcoal. It's just kind
Okay.
of make it pretty on top.
I got you.
Yep. And but yep. So this is what I do just for fun.
Gotcha. Yeah, because the tops of them, they all kind of have the
They have
swirls
different-
and designs. Yeah.
They have different peaks and
Yes.
and the big thing is about these oils is they're going to be taken from this state that they're in,
Yep.
and this state from their in, which is castor oil,
Yep.
and this state from their in, which is coconut,
Yep.
and the lard is over here.
Okay.
But they're going to be taken from this state and turned into something else. So
And that's happening right there.
yep, and what's going to happen with that is it's not going to matter if it's organic or not organic.
Okay.
The reason being is because it heats up so hot.
Cooks them all. Yeah.
It cuts all of that out, all of those properties out. And as far as the oil is concerned, it's changing into something completely different, and so the organic is not going to matter.
All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that one. So until next time, thank you for watching.